Good morning. Good to have you back today.
I love my cherry blossom tree. I know I show it almost every day, but I love it. I love it. And the blossoms don't stay very long, so I've got to record it while I can. It rained last night, though. Look, it's like pulling them down heavy with water. Aw, such a pretty tree, though.
Hey, Chihuahua. How did you know I was just about to record? You just hopped right on up here. Maybe he wants to be in it today. Oh, I love my little dog. My kids tend to live in this world of, I don't know, video games and phones and vlogs and YouTube videos and Netflix and Hulu, and I shouldn't say just my kids. I do a lot of this too. But sometimes I try to figure out some of the things that they're into. Snapchat. All right. I know there are bad things about Snapchat, good things about Snapchat. I have a ball with it. I love it. You can take a picture of yourself, and then you have all these different filters that you can put your picture through so that you look like a princess, or you have all these hearts floating around you, or your face looks like a strawberry or an orange, or there's a voice modulation and you sound really goofy. It's so fun. It's so fun. But one thing I do with my girls is we do streaks, where every day that you Snapchat each other twice, you get a streak. And you do it for 2 days in a row, you have 2 days of streaks. And the goal is to see how many days you can go without messing up or missing or forgetting to do your streaks. And it's the oddest thing, because I send my Snapchats to both Felicia and Madison. And for some reason, I have over 300 with Felicia. And it's so cute because she sends me back the funniest pictures of herself. She makes me laugh all the time with what she does and how she presents herself sometime in just the best ways. I love that. And then Madison, I love Snapchatting with her too. But it cracks me up. Pull up my Snapchat and I'll be like, shoot, I forgot to send her one. Or she'll forget to do it back to me. So I'm over a 300 with Felicia, and I think I'm on day 3 with Madison, because we had to start all over. We had gotten pretty high and then messed up. But it's fun. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So another game, or a game that I like to play, is Trivia Crack. I used to play it a lot, and then I stopped playing it for a long time, and just recently I pulled it back up again, and it's kind of fun. Except you have 5 questions to answer, and you're competing against somebody else, and you're sitting there. It shows you how many answers you've gotten right and how many answers they've gotten right, so you know where your standing is. And if you're winning this little tiny competition of trivia, you feel so good about yourself. You're like, yes, I'm so smart. I know all this stuff. And then, you finish the round and you've won, and you just feel great. Yes, let's play another round. But then inevitably, there comes a round where you feel like you're the stupidest person around, and you just can't answer even the most basic of questions, it seems like. And the other person, who you have no idea who this person is, but the other person is winning, and it makes me go, what's wrong with me? So it's odd. It's such a little video game can make me feel so good and on a high, and then in an instant it can make me feel stressed and like, no, I've got to win. Oh, it's fun. As long as we don't take that to extremes. But today our topic is being content. Are we content with who we are, where we are in life? Should we be content? I don't have all the answers, but we'll ask some good questions. So earlier we brought up the subject of being content. Should we be content in life? What does that mean? You know, I try to find a lot of my answers to life from the Bible. So there's this guy named Paul in the Bible. And Paul is a really neat guy. And he's had times in his life where he was wealthy and influential with a lot of the people in his town. And he said in those times in his life, he was content. But that's not all that he experienced. At the time that he wrote in the Bible about being content, he was in prison, which was a stark contrast to where he was before. And in these verses, he tells us that he's had times where he was hungry and times where he was full, times where he didn't have anything, times when he had lots of stuff, times where he was comfortable, times that he was hurt. But when he wrote these verses in the Bible about being content, he was in prison. And you wonder, how can you be content in prison? And here I am in my nice, cozy, warm home, and I'm not always content. Why? What's the difference? So for me, it boils down to two things, whether or not we're content. One, are we grateful for what we do have? Are we thankful? Or are we constantly comparing ourselves to whoever? What can we find to be thankful for and grateful for? If Paul could write that he was content while he was in prison, certainly I can find something to be content about while I'm sitting here in my nice, warm, cozy home, right? Kind of puts things in a different perspective, but it's not always easy. So my second thing is, not only should we be grateful for what we've been given in life, we need to keep looking to Jesus for that contentment. Because farther down in the chapter where Paul says that he's content no matter what his circumstance, he also says, I can do all things through Jesus who gives me strength. There are lots of things that we think that we can do on our own power, such as being content in all things. But in reality, people, it's really hard. For me, it's impossible to be content apart from Jesus. But he gives me strength in all things, and he teaches me how to live the life that he's given me right now. That doesn't mean that our lives won't change, because they will. Our lives are always in a flux of change, and we will be different people with different circumstances, year to year to year. But today, how are we living? Are we rejoicing where God has us and looking for ways to help people and to make this world a better place? Or are we begrudging the fact that we aren't like that person, or we don't have what that other person has? What's our attitude? What is it? Have an attitude of gratitude. I know that sounds kind of cliche-ish and silly, but it's pretty true. It changes how you think about things. So, are you content? Today, right now, where you are you content? And if you're not, why? Just something to think about. So look around, see what you can be thankful for today. Be content. I'll see you next time.